Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Tuesday, guys. Want to say hey to all my subscribers new as well this season. Got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Tuesday, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed your Easter. Didn't make a recording yesterday, so I'm going to jump right in. I want to talk to you guys today about it's bigger than you think. So, what's currently going on, definitely in my personal life, and I know with a lot of you, since I've been reading your emails, is that God is making room. He's clearing the path right now, or in this season. And that means people or things that are no longer bearing fruit is being moved out of the way. In whatever way that is, that can be a multitude of different ways that he's removing things and removing people, but they have to be removed. That can be old jobs that's no longer bearing fruit, old relationships of all sorts, old locations, whatever. But he's moving things out of the way to make room for major blessings that's going to be bigger than you think. Remember, we can only grasp what we think we can see or what we can control, because sometimes things that are out of our control, no matter how big we say God bless us, that can be very intimidating, right? That can be very intimidating, because when God starts to really open doors and you really see the direction he's going, it's almost like, wait a minute. I don't know if I asked for all of that, or can I even handle that, or I'm even equipped for this type of relationship, this type of marriage, right? All these factors start playing in your head. And what does the enemy do? He starts to bring your past in your head. For example, if you've only seen very, very, very bad toxic marriages as you grew up, then in your mind, you've never witnessed it. So you think like, wait a minute, God, are you calling me to marriage? But I've never even seen a happy marriage. In fact, I don't even want to be married, because how's it even worth it anymore in these days, right? Just speaking in general. And then it's almost like, okay, you're telling me you want me to open a business, but I've never even viewed a business plan. I've never been around someone who has a business. So he starts to send you glimpse of things, but then the enemy will get into your head about your past and what you do not have, and how you think you're not ready, how you think you're not equipped. And the truth of the matter is you are, and it's bigger than you think. That's why the door doesn't open as quick as we want. That's why we have to go through all these different seasons of transformation or delays, and etc., 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 because God always knew it was bigger than you thought it would be. We limit ourselves because of the capacity of what we can receive right now. You have to be stretched. We have to expand. So in order to expand, everything that's no longer bearing fruit has to be removed. So these are things that maybe you once saw fruit. You see, maybe if you were helping someone or you were supporting someone, like you could see where this person was growing, or you can see where this person was learning to stand on their own, or either continue to grow their relationship with God. These can be businesses, again, that you loved at some point, and you being the, supervisor on that job, the manager on that job, you saw how God would branch you off in different areas. Maybe you were able to pour into some of your staff members, right? Maybe you were able to, maybe you invited some to church and they started going to church, and there was just fruit all around you. You could see it. You were happy, because fruit is very fulfilling when you can, when you can bless others, but they're blessing you back. Of course, not always are for me, rarely in the same way, but you can bless them in one way, but then they're pouring back into you, maybe with spiritual words, spiritual guidance, gratitude, whatever, right? There's fruit. But now when there's no longer fruit, because either the assignment is just up, or maybe, God has to take control where he can deal with the person one-on-one, Now you're frustrated. Now you're tired. Now you're drained. So if you're drained, how are you able to receive the capacity of things that God is trying to download to you, to tell you, make this move, take that route, put this application in? How can you even receive that when you're drained from that toxic relationship, from that toxic friendship, from that toxic job? You're just overwhelmed and frustrated, tired. Can't receive like that. So God is clearing the path. Regardless of how it feels, regardless of what we want to let go and release, God is clearing the path. So now, God is a gentleman. He's not going to force you. Okay, so if he told you to leave that relationship, if he told you to, step down from the manager position because they're working you like a dog, and you're probably only getting a $1 difference in pay than just the regular staff. Well, the regular staff get to go home and have a peace of mind when you're up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, stressed out, and got to be right back. I met a young lady yesterday, last week. She drives 3 hours one way to work and 3 hours back. 6 hours of her day, and she's not making a lot of money. Wouldn't say how much, but it is not at all. She can almost be making minimum wage. Let's just say that. And so I was talking to her when she was telling me this, because when I saw her, she came up to me to tell me something. I think she liked my shoes or something. But my spirit picked up on how tired she was. Like, her soul was tired. I mean, you could physically look at her and see she was tired, but you could see her soul, or you could feel her soul was tired. So as we, conversed further, she was just telling me that, she drives 6 hours, and then when she's off, it's not even that 2-day back-to-back off. She's off 1 day and work maybe 3 days, then off again. And then I said, well, how did this even come about? So she said that, I think she was trying to buy a home or something like that in the area where she works. So she thought the house had gotten approved. So she decided to get a job in the area of where she wanted the house. Well, something happened. The loan fell through, and she just keeps driving 3 hours to and from. But she had this vision and this dream of having a food truck, but she can't save for the food truck because, of course, the gas prices is crazy right now. And she's taking 6 hours of her day, so she's tired. So who in the world have time to be researching for a food truck, etc., etc., etc.? So, of course, I shared some words with her in general. And I told her, I said, let me tell you something, sis. Let me tell you something, sis. She works to a store, right? A very popular store. If you mess around and have a nervous breakdown, you mess around and, Lord forbid, fall asleep behind that wheel, do you know this store is going to still be open tomorrow? Oh, they're going to still be open tomorrow. But here's what happens a lot of times, and she knows the Lord. So, but a lot of times what happens is we're so dedicated and committed, because there's no way in the world you can't find a job that's not 3 hours from home. It's because you've already got comfortable with this job, and because these people now have given you this manager position, and you're so loyal to them, they're begging you not to leave because you're this quote unquote great worker. Okay, well, ask them if something happened to you, are they going to have the store open tomorrow? The answer will be yes. So as people, we have to start making a determination on what is affecting our lives in a negative way that is causing us not to be able to open our arms and receive the magnitude of the blessings that God has coming our way. Satan will trap you off. Satan will trap you off in a position, not just a job, but in a position in general, where you're overworked, you're overtired, you're frustrated, you're constantly annoyed, you're on 10, all this stuff, because it's all a way to distract you from having that pathway clear, that channel clear, so God can give you your downloads on your next step to take. But again, it's up to us. Because even after speaking to her, as she's taking everything I'm saying, and she's just like, ooh, that's confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Okay, saw her, I think yesterday, this was last week, we had this conversation. I gave her some links, I gave her some information. When I saw her yesterday, she didn't even do one thing. But she's still talking about the food truck and how tired she is. Your job in this season is to give the knowledge, keep it moving. Because again, you will still have those pockets of people who, sometimes people just want to vent, right? They say they want your advice, your opinion, which they do. But sometimes it's really about venting. But your obedience, if God is requiring you, is just to give the knowledge, keep it moving. Because everybody don't want to grow. Everyone, growing is not easy. So a lot of people do not want to expand because it's not easy. But you can't get entangled in that. Right? I used to do that a lot, sitting down with people days and days and weeks because they want this, and oh, I just love your wisdom, and I love you, and you take all your time and invest in these individuals who truly do not want to change. They really just want someone to vent to, and that's cool. Let them vent, right? We all need a vent session, but you got to know when to cut that stuff off, because you'll mess around and have your whole mind tangled in their lives, and now you're trying to help them, you're busy helping them, and you're not even available for what God is trying to get to you. So it takes intentional decisions. When you hear from God, if God says remove it, if God said there's no longer fruit, you don't have to be obedient, but that is your choice if you are ready for God to get you the things that he's attempting to get to you. And it's bigger than what we think. It's bigger than what we think. Truly, right? And I'm a big thinker, right? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it big, period. But the things that God have been showing me lately, it's like, wait a minute. Woo! Now I see why you are requiring and convicting me to release all things, all people who are no longer bearing fruits. So that's why I always say with me, my convictions and my obedience always override my emotions. And again, this is why I tell people, listen, when I hear from God, I can't turn back. And it bothers me that, okay, you're sorry, you're apologizing, you're probably on your knees holding on to my ankle, and I'm just like, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Not when it comes down to convictions and obedience. Your blessings are attached to your obedience. God will not bless you with certain things until certain people are removed, until certain things are removed, and you have the capacity to receive piece by piece. Because really that's what it's about. He's giving you things piece by piece. There's just not this one massive boom. No, it's piece by piece. But your obedience to that thing is like a stairway. Your obedience is going to have you climb some steps. You get stopped again. You climb some more. You get tired. You keep climbing. But you will stay on that step if you're not willing to do what he's asking and requiring you to do. So you guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.